back injuries sneak up on you. You wake up one morning, you're like, oh my God, like my back, it's destroyed. And you go to the doctor and you say, I was doing deadlifts. The doctor says, there's your problem. The deadlifts are the most dangerous exercise. Don't do it. It's going to kill you. This is fundamentally the biggest problem that I have with training right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about the deadlift and a hill that I'm willing to die on in saying that the deadlift is not dangerous. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I made a video 4 years ago, the Joe Rogan Experience, Robert Oberst, and yeah, like you heard from him, don't do the deadlift unless you're doing it for the deadlift's sake. The risk to reward ratio is just too damn high, etc., etc. Now, again, I'm going to double down on exactly what I said in that video and say that the deadlift and almost all movements are not inherently dangerous. The danger comes from people operating outside of their capacity or fitness for that said movement. The more you do that, the more you operate outside of those bounds, whatever they may be, the higher the likelihood over time of an injury occurring. Now, why am I bringing this back up? Well, because YouTube's a weird place. Sometimes old videos take off and they just start, you get new viewers who you haven't seen in a while, and then there's comments coming in. And that's exactly what happened with this one. When I put it out, I think it went up to like 50,000 views and it stayed there for 3 years. And then, all of a sudden on the 4th year, it picked up. I don't know why, but we had a ton of new comments completely disagreeing with what I said in the video. And I want to kind of go over them because I've learned new things and I've actually theorized as to why I'm so pedantic, if you will, about this subject, because I think it is a very important thing for me to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it with you guys right now. The first thing we're going to do is look at some comments. But first, today's video is sponsored by Transparent Labs. I've been taking this whey protein for a long time now. If I want to come even close to a gram of protein per pound body weight, like I have to supplement it with whey. And I think this is the best. Right here, it's grass-fed whey protein isolate, peanut flour, cocoa powder, natural chocolate flavor, sodium chloride, and stevia extract. 7 total ingredients. Nothing artificial in this whatsoever. It's my favorite. They have incredible supplements, guys. So go there now, get your fill of supplements, and use code Zack at checkout. Back to the video. So if we go to the comment section, I'm going to sort by newest here. Anyone saying deadlifts are low risk should do them 7 days a week for a year. Now, I could easily do that and feel totally fine. Nay, I could do that for a decade. I could do that for 20 years. I'm going to do that my entire life. Why is that? Because the word deadlift, if we find the definition of it, a lift made from a standing position without the use of a bench or other equipment. A type of lift where the weight or barbell is lifted off the ground until the lifter is standing up straight. Neither of those are very good. But can we say that the deadlift is picking something up? So you're standing, you bend over, you pick something up, and you stand back up.
So you bend and snap.
Is that a deadlift? Because if it is, I'm likely going to deadlift every single day for the rest of my life unless I'm bedridden or very, very unhealthy. Let's say that the deadlift has to be with a barbell. Okay, can I do just the barbell? One deadlift with just the barbell, right? So do you guys see where I'm going with this? A 20 kilo deadlift is vastly different than a maximum effort deadlift. And everything in between is up to the user. And what you lift should be determined by your goals, but also your fitness and capacity. Because a deadlift is a very all-encompassing term that we can't just say, don't do it. It's going to kill you. Okay, I'm going to continue on with this to further explain, again, why I'm being so pedantic about this, because there is a general thesis around this as to why this is so incredibly important. Again, these are the newest comments, and like, I swear to God, guys, most of these are disagreeing with me. I'm not just being like, oh, you know, there's a ton of comments and then there's a few people disagreeing with me and I'm just going at those. Like, no, I've been seeing a lot of this lately. Deadlifts are more dangerous than any other exercise options. That's just a fact. Not sure why you're debating that. Well, if you watched the video, you would be sure of why I'm debating that. And again, saying something is the most dangerous and that it is just fact is completely irresponsible. You're likely not going to hear that come out of my mouth. Let's move on. Your argument is wrong. I'm a sports scientist and study these kind of things, and the deadlift at heavy weight for the individual is very risky, especially more so when they're inexperienced. It is the most injuring exercise for beginners and intermediates I see. Thank you for proving my point. You know, I still disagree with your assessment of it even then, right? Because what you're saying is there's a certain level that a lifter that has a capacity and they're doing it heavy. Well, heavy should actually be something that's within your capacity, right? If we look at a sliding scale of heavy to moderately heavy to moderate, then to light, light, moderate, and very light, and so on and so forth, we would understand what we're capable of. You know, when I say capacity and fitness, there are multivaried, you know, it's a multivariate assessment. How many reps? What is the total volume of the session? How much rest are you giving yourself? What is the intensity? Basically, those, you know, intensity could be through load. It can be through, you know, you could do a cluster set where you do 3 reps, then rest 20 seconds, and then 3 more reps. There's so many different variables that determine fitness and capacity. So look, I think you understand that point, right? It's not inherently in the movement, but what I want to try and explain is why so many people love to say this, because this is somewhat therapeutic for me, and at least I know what I'm fighting against. The deadlift is a movement that is not very complex at all, right? And it is one of these movements that even with poor technique, it's likely going to be the heaviest movement that you can do, which is very, very exciting. I have taken multiple lifters into a deadlift session safely, and they've lifted numbers that they didn't even fathom they can lift. Super exciting. Now you get back in the gym, you start doing that by yourself. Hell yeah. The problem is, if you're a newer lifter or just newer to the gym, you're not actually understanding the mechanisms that lift the bar. You're just lifting the bar. And so you're not actually developing your hamstrings, your glutes, and your low back properly. You're just focused on lifting the bar. And then these back injuries sneak up on you. And you wake up one morning, you're like, oh my God, you know, like, fuck my back, it's destroyed. And you go to the doctor and you say, I was doing deadlifts. The doctor says, there's your problem. The deadlifts are the most dangerous exercise. No. The problem is that you didn't do any long, large-scale development of the musculatures that matter. You didn't understand the fundamental aspect of training over macro cycles of time, and that is progressive overload. Okay? Understanding that there is a future that you can't really fathom, and having faith in that future and having faith in that process. This is fundamentally the biggest problem that I have with training right here, is that people want to write off the things that they should not do because it makes training easier. It makes it more dialed for them. I did a video talking about how a lot of, you know, guys in fitness, a lot of influencers tell people not only that they don't have to back squat, that they shouldn't. And they give the reasons why. And a lot of it is like, hey, if you don't like the back squat, don't do the back squat. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But don't tell me that it is an inherently dangerous movement or that you are not capable of it. Because somebody who is new to the gym does not know what they are capable of and what they aren't capable of. The example I use in that is if they can't sit in a deep squat, if they don't know how to, or they've never tried, or they've never developed the deep squat without any support and having a straight back, if they can't do that, then you put a barbell on their back, they can't do that as well. And then you put them on a machine and you go, oh, that feels way better. I like that one, right? That means back squat bad, machine good. The problem was there was no development before determining whether or not you liked that movement. Okay, I get it, but can you give me a top paid athlete in baseball, football, soccer, hockey, tennis, boxing, deadlifting video? You showed a bunch of videos of non-top athletes deadlifting. Now, I have a video of me training these jiu-jitsu athletes. They're both top athletes. They're not top paid athletes. I will get to that. Hear me out on this. And what I did with these athletes, the Tackett brothers and Cody Steele. Cody Steele is going to be on Dana White's Contender Series. The Tackett brothers both qualified for ADCC this year, which is the most illustrious competition for a grappler on earth. I had them start from a standing posture, hinging at the hips, slight bend in the knees, maintaining that posture and standing up. Now, is that a deadlift? I would call it a deadlift. Yes, I would, right? I've also had them lift stones, bags, kettlebells, dumbbells, all of these things from the ground. And if you think about it, when you're wrestling, you pick things up off of the ground. The thing happens to be a human being. Okay? So this is where this really matters. Okay? My definition of a deadlift, let's just say it's pick something up off the ground. Okay? My backpack is on the ground. And I say, well, I'm not allowed to deadlift, but can I pick that up? And the guy goes, yes, don't be an asshole. Okay, you know what I meant by deadlift. It's like, well, we'll get to that. So I can pick up my backpack. Can I pick it up 20 times? Pick it up and put it down 20 times. Sure. Okay. I go, okay, well, can I put a 5-pound plate in there? Can I put 10-pound plate in there? 20, 30, 40. Okay, what's the line? Where am I not allowed to pick something up off the floor? And then the person is most likely going to say, at the weight that you are not capable of. Boom. Right there. That is the case with every other movement that I train people in. Every single other one of them. What are you capable of? And we're going to try and toe that line enough times to develop an adaptation to then further where that capability can be. That is the essence of training. And when we deny that the deadlift fits in that, we are denying the essence of training, okay? God, I feel like taking crazy pills. So, the top paid athlete. I am sure there are thousands of videos out there of top paid athletes. Off the top of my head, JJ Watt doing a tire flip. Tell me why that isn't a deadlift. Tell me why that's safer than a deadlift, right? If we had less weight than the tire and he picked it up with a barbell, is that all of a sudden dangerous? How are you going to determine the danger of that, right? That's just one directly off the top of my head. I can probably find so many different videos of athletes picking things up off of the floor. And so what people think deadlifting is just heavy weight pulling the bar with a barbell. But what that is lack of coaching, lack of understanding of training. So look, the comments are endless on this, okay? And now you understand my thesis on this. The essence of training is understanding where you're capable and pushing the limits of that through long-standing macro training. And to say that the deadlift doesn't fit in there is to deny the essence of strength and conditioning to its highest degree. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I appreciate you guys coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.